one of the things for me is I'm obsessed with motorbikes. I always have been all my life. So there were a chance to go on the police motorcycle unit, and if you don't know what that is, it's police on a motorcycle. There's different things they do, but basically their role is to do escorts. So it's Vipex escorts, so they do royal family, heads of state, prime ministers, other VIPs, football matches, heavy loads, all sorts of things that you do, pop concerts, everything, festivals. So opportunity came forward for me to join. Motorcycle obsessed, I love riding, and I joined. We got to ride BMW 1200 RTs, which are the big sort of like Taurus, but fully loaded with all the police equipment. The course for 4 weeks, and I had an instructor called Chris, who basically for 4 weeks, he was like my best friend, and he just took me all around England, just basically flying around on this bike. And you think, I can't believe I get paid to do this. It's absolutely fantastic. It is what they all used to say in the police. They say, used to things come out saying, police motorcycle unit, we don't know what they do, but they always look good doing it. And it was that sort of thing. You turn up and they're like, look at these lads here. And like, well, we don't know what we're doing, but we'd look absolutely splendid when we were doing it all. Now, when the training is so hard to do and so precise, it's bizarre because you're looking after, like I said, royal families or heads of state. So your riding has got to be perfect. And I remember one instructor saying to me, riding's got to be a second nature. It can't ever be thought about. So you can't think what gearing, you can't think about cornering, it just needs to be there. You just need to be like completely not a robot riding. And the only thing you have to think about are the comms that are going through your head. So I'll give you an idea. What happens is you'll set off and there'll be so many bikes escorting this VIP. The first bike is always called the pilot. So the pilot sits directly in front of the sort of royal family or whoever it's going to be, and then you've got all these worker bikes. So one worker bike shoots off and goes to the main feature, which could be a roundabout, holds the roundabout, then the other bike goes off to the next junction, and then the third bike goes off again. And the idea being is the royal family, whatever comes through, and then the back bike overtakes the royal family, and then you're just going on feature. It's clockwork. It's brilliant. And when you sit outside, you're thinking, look at this, and it's and it looks, it sounds, and you're thinking, brilliant. Inside your head, you're screaming, don't stop there, and it's like everyone's screaming at you, Ben, what are you doing? You're fucking that up. Don't hold that feature. And they call it a crisp packet, or they call it something really stupid. Why are you looking at this? And it's every single thing you're doing in your head's like wrong, but then outside you're like there's no noise, and you're coming in and move your fucking bike, get out of the way, you stupid idiot, you're blocking VIP. And everyone's shouting at each other. And then all I used to go in my head is because I used to love chips. I used to a 70s TV program. I used to come into junction, and I was like singing songs in my helmet, straight, right, left, and right. And it looks brilliant. And we used to do football matches, so we used to do the football coaches and escort the football coaches out of big venues, escort them to motorway. Like I said, prime ministers and things like that. And it were a brilliant thing to be doing. There were a couple of times when I did a Leeds football match, and the first time I did it, I just completely felt out of my depth. I was scared. I felt intimidated because it's a proper unit, like a boys unit, an elite club, so to speak. And then when you get in and you get better and better and better, you come better and you start playing cards with lads, or that lads will accept you, and it is a good thing. But when I started doing the more specialist I became on it, that's when I lost my dad and I lost my mum, so my head wasn't really right, and I failed some of my advanced courses, and I came off. If you want to go for something like that, the bike unit, I think it's probably one of the best jobs in England, because currently at the moment I think what they do is they do the Tour de Britain, Tour de France, Tour de Yorkshire, Tour de whatever, every single tour you can get on they'll go all the way around down to London to go do other, so you're on an operational basis. So if you needed in London, you'll go to London. If you needed wherever, so when Tour de France came, all French police, motorcycle police came with Tour de France, and then all other ones get involved. So you do feel really, really part of a group. So much stupid stuff that they do though. You've got to. It's all about uniformism.
Uniformity.
Yep, one of them as well. It's all about one of them. You can tell I'm not right bright. So parking your bikes, all your bikes have got to be lined up the exact way. They've got to be a certain distance. This is when you're all off cuff as well. Ooh, you're riding in. Ooh, there's like 6 of you. Boom, 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 boom. First person gets off his bike because you're not allowed to paddle it backwards. You've got to like step off it, and this is bike waving like quarter of a ton. You got to push it backwards into put stand down, put handlebars, right, and then and you've got to do it. And they've all got to be beautifully spaced out. They've got to be all in line, and then you've got to all turn your bikes off and get your legs off at bikes at the same time. You've all got to be in one uniform thing. Then you've all got to take your gloves off, take your helmet off, and you put your helmets on the back police light, and you put your helmets at a certain angle, so everyone's. And it's just so you're all properly stood there. You know, yes, ma'am, I'm with Queen or I'm with Prime Minister, and you might bugger off for 2 minutes, and then what they do is they unscrew the light and put the back light up really high. So then all the bikes lined up apart from yours on the end, which it's got like a big antenna on the back and your helmet's on top, and they'll move the handlebars or they might turn your bike round so it's faced inwards. And there's always stuff that they'll be doing, and they'll be leaving sirens all on and switches. So as soon as you switch your bike on, all sirens and lights coming on, and everything's moved for you. It's a really good thing. It's a really good thing to do. I remember escorting some coaches out of Huddersfield, and I got trapped between two coaches in snow, and I'm trying to wiggle. I think there's 7 coaches we're escorting out of Huddersfield football match stadium thing, one of those places that kick balls around. And I'm stuck between 2 coaches and I'm in snow and I'm trying to get round. And I remember like giving it some throttle round the loop in Huddersfield, and I remember the bike skidding out from me. I remember high siding and hitting the tank, so high siding is when the back wheel comes out, throws you off the bike, and I remember hitting my nuts on tank. And then they asked for some commentary from me and asked me what the next feature was, and I couldn't speak. I wanted to say like, yeah, next feature, Held, and I went, next feature, and I just like ignored it and just rode off, pretending I didn't hear it. It's probably the best job, but the bikes are fantastic. The BMWs are so high powered for what they are, being the Boxer engine. They'll happily plod along at 140 miles an hour plus. So comfortable to ride, no wind noise, and all the gear you get, rucker gear and thousands on police motorcycle gear and stuff like that. It's just one of the best things you could ever do. So if you're ever in the police, go for a motorcycle unit if you've got a permit.
Why are the bikes so big?
The bikes are just ginormous because you've literally got every single thing on the handlebars, such as all your lights, sirens, you might have a rear matrix, you've got your radio display, you've got everything. Plus you've got your normal hand controls, so you've got your indicators, your lights, your screen, every single thing all on it. All your sirens, your lights, everything's all based on front, and on the back you've got your 2 panniers which are empty, but that's why you put all your police gear in. So you might carry a set of thermals, you've got to wear a baseball cap, so when you take your helmet off you're wearing a baseball cap, or it might have your ticket folder in or other things that are in. And the back, the big back box, that's all the radio component units and things like that, so they are heavy. I remember one of the first times, obviously driver training, didn't know about this, and rest of the motorcycle lads didn't know about this. I remember I got there early and I got my bike out at bike unit because you lift the door open and it's just like police academy. You've got all these bikes lined up, and then like all the top boys, they all know who they are. They've got all these posh bikes, and you've got the one in the corner with like loner bit with wing mirror hanging off it and buckled wheels, and you know, it revs a bit too much and blue smoke comes out back. And I remember pushing my bike out, and I remember putting stand down, and the stand went all the way down, and I remember just walking off and just going doof, and I turned around and I've got this police motorcycle just laid in its like outside garage on its own, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. And then I went and tried to pick it up. I couldn't pick it up because it hurt me back. I was trying to lift it up, but it was too heavy, so I had to get another officer coming out me, and that officer swore himself silence and says, I'll never tell like you've dropped this bike. Luckily there's no damage on it because it's got these big crash bars, but it's little things like that. There's been loads of times when bikes have gone over, because you do it, you sit on the bike, you take your stand off and you just let it go, because if you hold it, you're going to knacker your back. There's been loads of eyesides, loads of skids. I've clipped a car wing mirror once. You're trying to go through cars, because what you do is, it's really bizarre when you trying to go somewhere, you've got like a bit of a carte blanche, so there's no sort of like rules and regulations at road. You've got to get to wherever you're going to get in a certain time, and if you're escorting a VIP like Prime Minister, that convoy doesn't ever want to be static, so you need to go. So if you need to go the wrong way down a dual carriageway and block it off or somewhere like that, you can do it. And I remember filtering through cars, and I'm like, but I'm not filtering at 4 miles an hour, I'm filtering like at 35 miles an hour trying to filter through these cars. I remember my leg hitting a wing mirror and knocking a wing mirror off. I don't think I stopped, which I should have done. There's been loads of things, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and it were only that I couldn't pass the course due to my dad dying and the mental health aspect that I came off the course. But all the lads on the course, they're like lads that they can do things on motorbikes that you can't ever imagine. And when people say, "Oh, I can ride a Fireblade, I can ride this," and go with advanced riders, and I thought I was good until I went with advanced riders, and you know how shit you are. You know what I mean? They do things and they're so fast and smooth, it's untrue. So yeah.
Have you ever gone the wrong way when you do an escort?
Yes, I've gone in. I'll give you an example of this. So we're doing a Cat A prisoner transport. So basically, Cat A is like your serious murderer, kind of violent. This person needs to be escorted because he's all seen films and TV and stuff. So I were on this road in far side of Wakefield, and we're doing this Cat A, and it were a normal single carriageway road. And what you do is, say you're one of the lead worker vehicles, you need to put like this, I won't tell you the codes, but you need to put this stop on the cars coming so they can go around the outside of the convoy you're leading and then cut it back in. So I'm going, cars coming towards me, and it wasn't Mrs. Miggins at this time because I recognised the car. So what you do is you put your lights on, you literally go into oncoming traffic, and you're like, still ride at 60 miles an hour, but like, can you stop? Like that, so woo, and I put my bike sideways, all lights going on it, sirens going on it, lights on back, full day glow outfit, side bike, all decals on, you stop. And I put my hand up like that, and I thought, she's fucking not seeing me. She is not seeing me. And you could, praying mantis where right chins right up to the steering wheel on the car, and all they're doing is looking at just over the bonnet of the car. And I thought, she's not seeing me here, and she must have been coming at 40. And I just thought, I'm not right. So literally, I can into the first gear and I let clutch go. As soon as I let clutch go, whoop, like that, straight past me. She'd have hit me at 40 miles an hour. I'd been knocked straight off bike, probably run over me. She wouldn't have even known until she got home and there's half a BMW under the front of the car. Wonder what all that scrape. Errol, can you come out? I've got a mark on my car. There's some scraping going on. But there's things like that. I know one lad that pulled in front of an ambulance, put a hand up, but ambulance had mowed him down. It's so dangerous, it's untrue. It's one of those where you've got your life in your hands, you're going wrong way around roundabouts, you're just flying, you cars coming 2 lanes coming opposite way, but you're going through cars. It's sort of like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you need to go down this lane and block this road off so they can come round and have a safe passage, that's what they're going to do. So you're literally carte blanche to go figure out a way to get Mr. and Mrs. Royal Family from A to B as safely and as smoothly as possible. So brilliant job.
Why do they use bikes for escorts?
I think basically because they're more nimble, and then literally they can get through the cars that where if it were just a BMW car, you'd be coming up against the tailback and cars at front wouldn't know what were going on, and you'd just be sat there in a coach, but you can go straight through lines of traffic or wait to front, put a stop on, and you start pulling it all through then. And then people are like, well, what's going on? But if you stop at junction, start pulling all this through, you're going to leave a clear route. But if you're in a car, don't forget they will still have the VIP protection units in front of them. They will still have the bodyguards and CPOs, but they'll be coming down and you've cleared that path out. So you can get places. I'm not being funny. I've had things where I've gone down alleyways or I've gone across grass plateaus. You can do things that you can't in a car. You can go through railings, in a certain crossing, cut through railings, go down and find a way to get through and stop your bike and start pushing people through. It's not just about being on that bit of road, it's about using all the tools you've got around you to make it as good as what you can do.
And when you're on the bike squad, if you like, is it like a part-time thing? Do you get a call up, like we need to do this one day?
So your normal traffic, so I were based at Bradford, your normal traffic, you are just not doing your normal police chases, your RTCs and everything, then you get an email sent to you saying, right, on Thursday and Friday we need you at a location, secret location, because we've got a VIP coming, we need these bikes and we need to escort this person to X location, and that's all you might get told, or someone might tell you, oh, it's Prince Charles, or it's Prime Minister, or whatever it is, or it's Barry Garlow. Do you know what I mean? Because Gary Barlow's too busy. Sorry. And then that's how it works. And so literally a plane will land, VIP gets off plane, gets in their convoy of cars, then you escort the cars.
When you get that call up and you get there then on the Thursday, do they sit you down in like a briefing room and do you get like shown the route that you're going to take?
No, because you've already done that route, you already planned the route, you already know where you're going, this is what you do as a team. You already know what's going on, where you're going to be going, you've already ridden the route several times. You've had some time off for your normal duties to look at the traffic, look at, oh, there's some roadworks here, and you might send a bike off beforehand as well, so far in advance to check that route's still clear. And then if not, you've picked another route there and then. So everything you're doing, it's not off. You literally, you're a solid unit in that bike team, knows exactly what it's doing. And you've even got backup plans, you've got escape plans, you've got, if just say for instance someone falls ill in car, you know which hospital you're going to be going to and how fast you need to get there. And I think the only downside is when I spoke to other people about it is everything works on a time limit. So just say for instance you might be escorting, or just say for instance Boris Johnson, and it might have to be at least train station for 11 o'clock, and then you pick him up and it's like 10:54, and then you're like, oh, it's only 2 minutes at train station. So you can't get him there at 10:58, you've got to get him there at 11 o'clock. So then someone will say, right, put a loop in. And you're like, what? Put a 2 minute loop in. So you've got to, in your head then, figure out 2 minutes ride around city centre of Leeds. That's literally going to be a 2 minute ride. So you can literally pull him back into the train station at 11 o'clock. So he can't be there because all the bodyguards are working on something, all the escort teams are working on a time. There's all these people around him. So they don't want to get there. And then the train's leaving at a specific time or ready to rock and roll. So you've got to put like a loop in. You're like, what the fucking hell am I going to go here? So all right, just go 4 lefts. It makes a big go down 4 lefts. Can I see dead end? You know what I mean? And then you need to be able to do it so the VIP doesn't know that you're taking him on a loop. The VIP just thinks, oh, this is the way it goes. So there's so much goes on, but they're so highly trained and they're so good at what they do. And the lead commander, I called Gary that I worked on, they were absolutely fantastic. He was second to none. What so much stuff they were doing. And the riders, the friendship, it were brilliant. But I had to come off it because I struggle with my own mental health with it anyway. And look at where I've come to now. So yeah, but if you're in ops and you want to do it, best job ever. We've launched the Pearson channel. If you want to help out, please see the link below. Thank you.